record. Is it recording? I can't tell in this screen. Oh, it is. All right. Sorry for the beginning. Okay, so you guys should be able to see, and then I can always adjust. So you guys should be able to see my hands.
Yep.
So I'm going to start with wine because I feel all good parties should start with wine. I don't know if you guys are having wine. If you want a glass of wine, have a glass of wine. If you guys have questions, you all know me, I am loud, I talk a lot, so just unmute, ask a question in the middle. I don't mind being interrupted. I'm easily interruptible and distractible. So if you guys don't have the electric wine opener, this guy is awesome because you just put it on and then it just goes like that.
It's like a spaceship.
And then the other part is you just release it. So you can, it has a USB charger, so that way you can just plug it in and keep it charged. So I'm gonna pour my glass. And then, so I already did my, so actually I think both of you guys have a rock. Both of
I
our
do.
Yep.
So Mary Beth, I asked you earlier, what do you use your rock for?
A lot of the slow cooker type recipes. We have an Instant Pot too, but we don't like the slow cooker function on the Instant Pot.
Me
The
either.
food never really comes out right. So
Yeah.
I use the Rock as a slow cooker, and then I've used it for like fondue and things like that.
Ooh.
Awesome. So you use the base a lot.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Oh my God, Julia, what do you use it for?
I use it for the chickpea curry, which I know you're not a fan of, but and then it's soup, and like I make huge batches of chicken rice soup a lot, so it's just the perfect size for that, and I love that it can go into the oven as well. So
exactly. So just so you guys know, so I actually did. So Sue and Amy, who are on, and Rosemary joined us. Rosemary, we'd love to see your face if you want to share.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Hey, Rose.
Hi, Mary Beth. Thomas is helping me.
What? So this is the rock. I actually did our pasta in the rock in the microwave. So if your stovetop is too full and you can't, you've got stuff on all burners, I find you're cooking 24/7. Hey, Rosemary. She's been
Hi, everyone.
She's up in New York. So we just got started. So I find that, if you're cooking on all your burners, we're cooking all day long here, then sometimes it's good to be able to do a few things in the microwave. So it's just 4 cups of liquid and then a box of pasta. So oftentimes if I'm doing a dish that I want to add a little flavor to, I'll use vegetable broth or chicken broth. For this, I just used water, but then most of the liquid cooks out, and I made this a little al dente to add into my pasta dish. So you just put it in, put the water in, put the lid on, and it's 16 minutes right in the microwave in the rock. And as we were saying, you guys, you can use it in microwave, stovetop, oven, broiler, dishwasher, and then you can also use it outside on your grill, and you can pop it in your fridge. I love it that you can pop it in the dishwasher. So that's what I did with the pasta. And then I did pre-cook my chicken. So a couple things. I know Mary Beth has little ones. Rosemary, your kids are older, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're all men.
Yes. So I find that people are cooking more with kids right now. That's like, because why not? This is a great time to teach them to cook. So I'm a knife person. So if I can use a knife, I will use a knife over any other cutting tool that I have or Pampered Chef offers. That doesn't apply to everybody. So one of the things I want to show you guys tonight is the quick slice, because that's actually a great tool for kids, and it's great for getting a lot of chopping done if you don't have a good knife, if you don't have good knife skills. If you don't have a good knife right now, you probably should invest in one, because that's one thing that makes cooking much easier. So I'm just going to use our chef's knife. Can you guys see me okay?
Yeah.
And I can see my face, and then I can see the board. So I'm experimenting for those of you who just joined. So I'm just going to cut the top.
Take care of your fingers.
You guys know with your knife, you want to hold it this way. So if you hold your knife this way, you have no leverage. So you're actually supposed to hold your knife like this. That gives you more leverage when you're cutting. And then a couple ways to cut the pepper is sometimes I use the scoop loop. If you guys do a lot of stuffed peppers. Oh my God, somebody's calling me. My poor host in Texas, she's been out. This is totally not related. She's calling me. She's had no internet all day long. Anyways, you want to see, I'm easily distractible. So the scoop loop is great for taking the inside out of a pepper. I'm going to throw it right in my trash bowl. Also, you can use it. What else would you guys use this for?
I actually use it to get spaghetti squash out of the skin. It works really well.
Yes, awesome for that. Awesome for that. Where are my avocado people?
Oh, I'm an avocado person.
Yeah,
I love it.
great for avocados. So I'm just gonna slice these up. And great for summer's, any kind of winter squashes like butternut squash, acorn squash, that kind of stuff to get the inside, melon. But it is great for the spaghetti squash. Those of you who do have a pressure cooker, that's actually what I find a great way to cook your spaghetti squash. You just pop it in the pressure cooker with like 14 minutes, and then it's done. Otherwise, you just cut it in half, put it on the tray, and then steam it. But since I've had the pressure cooker, I've been doing it that way. So this guy's our quick slice. All right, I gotta figure out how to. All right, you guys can see it this way. All right.
I can see it. Yep.
Still learning. So the blade on this is serrated, which means it's great for softer foods. So things like avocado, mozzarella, tomatoes. We're gonna use a pepper. So what you do is you kind of line up your food. And this is one that's great for kiddos because the handles are really big. They're not going to cut themselves if they haven't learned knife skills yet, or if they're hesitant about using the knife. And then there's a guard underneath. So you're just going to take it and you're just going to rock it like the apple core or the pineapple wedger. And then depending on what you're slicing, you can take it out, flip it over, and do something else. So besides peppers, what else would you guys use this for, do you think?
Onions.
Onions. If it's soft, you can do an onion for sure. You can do multiple foods. So there's like a little hint, like something that might be smaller that you might not think of.
Like an egg.
Like eggs. If you have a whole bunch of strawberries or mushrooms, you can lay them on and just slice, and then you have nice quick slices. I did a party before all this happened, and if I have kids at a party, I usually let them help me because they love to help, and it's fun. And they cut up all the strawberries for our strawberry shortcake that we were making. So that made it super easy. so anything that's small, mushrooms I use that you need nice even slices. So it's kind of like the egg slicer, which we still sell on steroids because you can do so much more with it. So if you do fresh mozzarella and tomato, it's great for that. So, and you can pop it in the dishwasher. Most of our stuff goes right in the dishwasher. I don't have a dishwasher at the moment. Well, I do, but it's broken. We're supposed to redo our kitchen, but now that's on hold a little bit. But that's okay. When it's done, it'll be great. So that is for our pepper. And then for our sauce, I'm actually going to use, I don't know if it was you, Rosemary. I think it was Andrea, Julia's friend, shared. She had the manual food processor and uses it.
I don't know if they can hear me.
Does anybody else have this guy?
I don't have it.
No.
Okay.
No, not
So,
that one.
This is great for, so you guys probably have the anybody have the chopper, the hand chopper?
Yeah.
Okay, for nuts, onions, stuff like that. This is actually great if you're doing multiple ingredients. So salsa, guacamole, chicken salad, egg salad. I do it a lot for, I made falafel the other day. I could have used this for that. I used my blender. You can also, when I do my stuff, mushrooms, herbs, anything like that, this is great. We're actually gonna do our dressing in here. So I didn't have fresh ginger, so I happened to keep, if you can find it in the grocery store, there's those frozen little ginger pods that you can get like in a freezer pack. And I just popped a few of those in. And then I also didn't have a lime, but I freeze my lime juice when my citrus is starting to turn. And I'm going to show you guys this. I just freeze it into little trays and then pop them in the freezer so that when I need a lime, I just have it. So I just put earlier my frozen lime juice and then my ginger in here. And then we're just going to add our soy sauce and then a little bit of water, depending. Where's mine? Have to have garlic. If you're cooking a lot with garlic, you probably should invest in the garlic press, or if you don't have one, just because it's nice and fresh. Garlic's easy. It's going to add flavor to your recipes, but you leave the skin on. So who has it? You guys must have it. Somebody has it.
I don't have it.
Nobody has it? Well, you do your own. Rosemary, you cook a lot. Do you chop yours?
Oh, yeah, I chop everything.
You chop it.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay. Rosemary and Julia, my true cooks. We're gonna put that on
You've
here.
already so many.
What?
I said you've already used a lot of gadgets that I wouldn't have been using. I would have had one big knife.
Yep, I use a knife. I'm a knife person.
Sorry.
And I'm dropping garlic. Oh my God.
Oh, this is good. You're the best, Lise.
I what?
You're the best.
I'm the best. Thank you. I did promise a little dance, I guess.
You did.
Right? Yeah. All good. Now this is a huge clove, so I'm gonna put this in. So while I'm doing this, who wants to share a favorite that they have? We've done this a little bit in the party, but I'd love you guys to share what a favorite product might be. I'm gonna start with Julia because you're at the top of my screen.
Well, besides my rock crock, which I love, I actually love the scoops. I use those 2 little cookie scoops, the 2 different sizes, all the time for meatballs and cookie dough. And
Oh, yes. What? And my husband's now afraid to come up. But what he doesn't know is that you guys can't see him.
well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So that's funny. So I'm gonna add all this in. and I'm a mess. If you're a baker, that measuring cup, which I just used, comes in handy. Uh-oh, I'm off the track. So the water is just added as a thickener, and then not a thickener, to thin it out. Thinking about something else. All right, I'm gonna add a little water, and then to my sauce. I'm actually gonna throw my peppers and my broccoli, which I already cut, in my skillet, and then we're just gonna I'm gonna go off screen for a sec. So I'm covered with peanut butter now.
Sleep like my hair, sleep like this.
So a couple things that make your life easier if you're home and you're cooking a lot is you're going to be cooking using a lot of canned goods, and you're going to be making a lot of rice and stuff in the, some people use the microwave a lot for that. So I don't know if any of you guys have, my lid is in here. I'm sorry. All right. I don't know if any of you guys have the Pampered Chef rice steamer that you use in the microwave. But this guy is awesome. We don't do a ton of rice, but I do a lot of quinoa. So I'll do my quinoa in this. You can do rice in this, the rice pack, anything like that. And the nice thing about it is you just follow the microwave directions, put everything in, and then it doesn't bubble over all over your microwave or anything like that. So I find this time people are using these kinds of products more because you're again, if you're cooking your rice and then cooking a few other things, you might not have enough burner space. And then if you can cook rice ahead, pop it in the freezer, and then just pull it out for a specific meal if you need to.
Are those able to go in the dishwasher?
Who asked that?
Rosemary.
Can they go in the dishwasher?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So who has the Pampered Chef can opener?
I do.
A smooth edge can opener. If you don't have a good can opener, a can opener is another thing that I find to be, so I'm making pasta fagioli tomorrow. I think a few people were looking for, hey Paula, we're looking for recipes for kidney beans. So I was gonna share that. So this has a pull top, but I do like to share the can opener just because it makes it, it's tricky if you've never used it. So the Pampered Chef can opener is a smooth edge can opener, which means you put the can opener on top like this. It has, I was a trainer in my past life, so everything to me is visual. There's two little circles. The can ends up going in between. It's almost, you can tell by feel. So I kind of feel that it's there. I lock it into place, and I should be able to do this. If I can't do this, well, yeah, it's gonna break your toe. But then you gotta start over. And then what you do is you just give it a turn clockwise.
It takes 11 turns. I've used it many, many times.
Oh, you count 11?
On that standard size can, it takes 11 turns, and on that like 11 and a half, you feel it loosen, and it's time to take it
Oh,
off.
I never counted. Oh my God, I am gonna add that to Pampered Chef trivia. That is amazing. Bonus points for you, Julie. So apparently 11 turns, then you feel like it loosen, turn it the opposite way, and then it just has these little teeth, and then you open it up. So the other thing I use a lot that I never thought I would use a lot, it's sort of like a little hidden gem in the catalog, because I have a lot of bigger colanders. but this guy is it's
Wow.
a colander and a measuring cup all together. So it's 3 cups, great for berries, but mostly I use it if I'm doing like frozen corn, frozen vegetables that I need to thaw.
Mm.
Oh, sugar. Hold on. Ah! And then, hold on. Just hold on.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hey, okay. Can you see me?
Nope.
Do you guys know? Do you guys see what I see? That my battery's gonna die on my laptop any second.
No, we don't see that.
So you don't know why I just did that?
No.
Okay, I'm back.
I don't know how
Anyways, you pour whatever it is in. It's a strainer. And then for beans, it's awesome because you just rinse them right in the sink and then you're gonna dump them in whatever you're doing. So later on, I'm gonna rinse this and then I'll just store them in my small batter bowl in the fridge when I go to make my soup tomorrow. But I rinse right in here. So if you're doing a small amount of berries or things like that, it comes in super handy. So it's the I can't think of the name of it. I'll post it underneath. But I think it's called like the measuring colander. But it's sort of like one of those hidden things you never really know you needed, but comes in really handy later on. All right. I'm just gonna switch my vegetables around while you guys. So who else has a favorite? You guys can't see me, but I know you can hear me. Who else has a favorite? Paula, I haven't really seen you on the party. Do you have I know you just, no, I don't mean that in a bad way. Do you have a favorite Pampered Chef product? Are you new to Pampered Chef?
You have to unmute. There you go.
Okay. No, I like the Pizza Stone. I like that.
Oh, awesome. Pizza. Now, do you just do pizza on it?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So great for frozen pizza. Anything frozen. If you guys have now stuff in the freezer that you're cooking for the kiddos. Do you have kids?
Yes.
So anything like that, pop it right on your stone. It's going to make it taste like nice and crispy. So all of those kinds of things, French fries, chicken nuggets, I do all that on the stone.
You got mad.
And it comes out nice and crispy. So Mary Beth had asked me about the cast iron, and I know Cheryl did, and she couldn't be on right now. So Pampered Chef just came out with cast irons. Julia, I'm actually going to pick on you for a minute.
Oh, good. What?
Love cast iron. And I'm actually fairly new. I've only used it a few times. So tell us what you love about it, why you, what you cook in it.
Yep. Yep.
If you don't mind.
So I have a flat griddle and I have a 10-inch skillet. And first of all, I hardly ever wash them. I'll be honest. I wipe them down with a paper towel unless there's something stuck to them, and then put them back on the stove. They pretty much sit on the stove all the time. And again, I love the stuff that I use the 10-inch skillet to make American chop suey, and sometimes I'll throw cheese on it and then throw it under the broiler, and I don't need to worry that the handle's going to melt because the whole thing is cast iron. Whereas the Teflon stuff and the nonstick skillets, a lot of times they have handles that can't go in the oven or anything like that. So I also like that these are definitely older than me and that they still work really well. So that gives me hope. And you know what I mean? I got one was a hand-me-down from my mother-in-law. One was a hand-me-down from my mom. And then my mom had a flat griddle, and I loved it so much. She went on a hunt and she found one at an antique store. So
that's awesome.
So I wouldn't take hers, basically. So I just love them. I just I don't know. I feel like I'm reincarnated from some woman from the 1600s. So I think that's why I like cast iron. It's
That's
like
okay. I had never cooked. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So I had never, does anyone else on here have cast iron?
Yeah, I have a skillet.
Rosemary, what do you make in your cast iron?
We'll make like a paella in it, and then you put that in the oven. There's some chicken, you can salt it and then put it right in the oven.
Yep. Oh, filet mignon. That's like one of my favorite things. I can only afford it like once a year, but you sear it on the stove and then you finish it in the oven. And you
I heard that's the best way to cook steak is on the cast iron.
Yep.
That's awesome. Did someone else, Paula, did you say you had cast iron? Were you?
I do. I use it for everything, like all the time. I use it all the time because I like that, what everybody else said. You can cook stuff on the stove top and then stick it in the oven and broil it or whatever.
Awesome. So this is super. I've been with the company for 15 years and we've had a lot of different kinds of cookware and stuff. And everybody always asks me for cast iron because I think people that love cast iron only want to use cast iron, and we don't offer that, or we hadn't up until now. So we just added 2 pieces to our line, and I've used it a few times. So we have a 10-inch and a 12-inch. Couple features that I love about it, especially for me, is there's 2 handles. So really easy to get stovetop to oven because cast iron is heavy. So sometimes that one handle makes it a little tricky.
Very true.
I have a double oven, so not knowing which oven I'm going to use. And then it also comes pre-seasoned. So what that means is you just wash it the first time and then use it, but then you do keep seasoning it. So the key to seasoning, and I heard, is you wash it, no soap, like a stone, no soap, just like a stone. Then you dry it so it doesn't, there's no rust. And then, Julia, do you guys oil yours?
I don't because, like I said, I don't wash it. So I just, if something's stuck to it, I pour some salt on it and I scrub it, which works really, really well for like, because we do fried eggs a lot, and it's actually great for your hands. So I do that because the eggs tend to stick a little bit, but it depends on who's cooking. You know, my eggs don't stick, but if the teenagers are in the kitchen, it's a whole different story.
Right.
But no, I don't oil it. Like even the one that my mom gave me a couple of years ago that she found at the antique store was in really good shape and doesn't really need to be oiled. So.
Okay, so I have been oiling it because I just wanted to take care of it right from the beginning, but it's pretty, I feel like it's the same care I use for my stone, I'm going to use for my cast iron. It seems to be similar. So Mary Beth, did that help?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a Le Creuset pan that we've had now for a while, and we use it all the time. So the bottom is definitely starting to lose its non-stickiness.
Yeah.
And we were talking about getting a new one, and then when we saw the cast iron skillet, and I've definitely always wanted one of those.
Yeah, I'm excited. And the price point, I thought, I mean, I don't know what they normally go for, but I thought that was pretty good. So, and it does come with a little scraper, just like your stoneware does, that little brown scraper that comes with your stone to kind of help if you get something stuck on and that sort of thing. Was there any other product that you guys saw during the week or might have seen online that you wanted to ask about or see? I pretty much have everything in the entire catalog. I can pull it from my cabinet.
Tell me about the cooking blender. Like, first of all, as a blender, how good is it? And then also, what do you cook in your cooking blender?
All right. I'm going to get it so you guys can see what it looks like. Hold on a sec. I'm actually putting my chicken together. All right. All right, so just so you guys can see, oh, I'm gonna move it closer, actually. Okay. I'm not really good at depth perception. All right. Hold on. Better. All right. So just so you guys can kind of see how it works. So Julie, you asked a couple things. So one is, as a blender, it works great. So I do smoothies in it, and then we just came out with a smoothie adapter, so sort of like a NutriBullet where you can just make one smoothie at a time, unless you're making smoothies for your whole family. This makes more. Whole family. Then, hey!
Georgia.
Hey, Georgia. So the cooking part is, so you can, so most of the stuff I've done in terms of the cooking is I have done soups and like purees. So my favorite soup, two of my favorite soups. So one is the butternut squash. You put onions, carrots, butternut, some garlic, broth, seasoning, and then it has a couple different settings. So there's a soup setting. So what happens is it's going to blend up your food and then heat it at the same time. So it's cooking after it blends the vegetables, it's also going to be cooking them. And it gets up to 212 degrees. So that's the other nice thing, is it tells you the temperature that it gets up to. And so if you're cooking, so other things that you might cook are, you might do a puree, where a lot of people are using it to make baby food. I think we're probably, I don't know if everybody is beyond that at this point, but that's one thing people use. If you wanted to make, one of my customers, she made actually, and I had never done this, she made her tomato sauce in it. I normally make it on the stove, but she was just making it for a pizza. So she just threw everything in, and then it just ended up cooked that and then used it as her pizza sauce. And then she had a little more flavor. So it didn't have that all day cook like for a pasta, but she used it for the pizza sauce. Other things I use it for all the time are, I've been making my own peanut butter, which I will do a demo tomorrow. And I'll put it on the show, because I'm actually out of peanut butter. Is you put in 3 cups of peanuts. You want to add salt, you hit blend, and you goes from peanuts to peanut butter. So almond butter, cashew butter, peanut butter, sunflower butter, any of those things it can do. If you have allergies and need to make your own milk, you can make almond milk, cashew milk, coconut milk, any of that kind of stuff. And my favorite part is that it has a self-wash setting. So what you do is you fill it with 3 cups of water, add in a drop of soap, turn it on to self-clean, and it cleans itself. Oh, the other heat setting, which Julia, you might like, is you can make jam. And we don't live, so if you have any kind of fresh fruit and you want to make your own jam, strawberry jam, blueberry jam, you can make it from fresh or frozen. Obviously for us, fresh right now isn't around that much, but I made blueberry and strawberry jam. I made my own applesauce. I don't love the applesauce in it because I like my applesauce chunky and it's really smooth. But if you wanted like a super smooth applesauce, like to mix into yogurt or something like that, then this would do that. We like ours chunky, so I did it. Wasn't my favorite thing, but if I want it for an alternate purpose, then I can do that. So that's my take on the blender. I use it a lot more than I expected. And I make my own hummus. And then I did, I don't know if you guys, some of you are on my business, my community page. I made falafel over the weekend.
Me too.
Dying to try it. So I actually did my falafel mix in here. So I did the onions and the herbs and the chickpeas. And I made it in the blender just to see if it would work.
So Lisa, I have to ask you, did the blender, was it strong enough to blend everything up?
Yes. So when it does the soup, like it is amazing how it does the, I'll see if I can find an old video, how it does the butternut squash. Because you put the butternut squash in raw. Like it's not cooked.
Wow.
It's like when I had my farm share last summer is when it came out. I made tomato soup all the time because I had extra tomatoes that were turning and I didn't eat them fast enough. So I would throw in my fresh tomatoes from the farm share and I would just take whatever I had. So we're talking plum tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, all kinds, threw it in there. I throw in a carrot and an onion and garlic too for flavor. And then I put in either fresh basil or if I had frozen pesto like in my freezer, I pop one of those in. So
Lisa,
that's
how
what
much
impressed
does it
me the
make?
most, that it could take those big chunks and turn it into an actual liquid. Like seeing the peanut butter is like unbelievable. So it is a little loud, but it compares to a Vitamix. So, but the Vitamix is also pretty loud. I love those little voices. So I don't know. So does that help?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I asked about the falafel because I actually did mine in my food processor, which is a Cuisinart that I've always relied on, and it couldn't handle the thickness of the like, like the falafel dough is supposed to be almost like a thick paste.
Yeah.
And I had to keep scooping it out and letting it just do half of it at a time.
Okay.
And that was disappointing.
Yeah. So I made I only used, so did you do one pan?
Hi, Rosemary.
Oh, love it.
Want to say hi?
Hi.
Look, it's Tom.
Tom.
I'm just using it.
That's my baby.
I need a flashlight.
That's your Ben, right?
Oh,
Yep.
oh, Mary Beth must be Rosemary's his daughter-in-law.
Yeah. Did anybody else have
I'm
any
Mary Beth's
other
aunt.
product?
Oh, aunt. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Product questions that they didn't, or they wanted to see something? I'm going to stop sharing just so you guys can see my face
All right.
better. All right.
Oh, you want in on this love fest? Me, Cal. You won't.
Oh, look. There we are. Hey, George. Oh my God.
Hey.
So a couple just things related to kind of what's just the current state of things. So thank you guys for hopping on live. I'm actually gonna, well, I'll keep recording this part. I think I did, or I'm going to just post the specials when you for your order. One of the other things that I want you guys to be aware of, which I'll post tomorrow, I didn't post it yet, is Pampered Chef works with Feeding America. So Feeding America supports local food banks. Food banks are definitely, their use is on the rise with kids not being in school right now and summer right around the corner. Food banks actually kids rely on the food banks the most during the summertime because they're not in school and they're not getting subsidized lunch and breakfast. So Pampered Chef does a roundup. You can round up your order. $1 actually donates 10 meals, and the money will get donated locally to where the party host is being held. So that's where the money is donated. So if you already placed an order and you want to round up, just message, and you didn't and you want to, just message me, hey Lisa, can you round me up? And if you haven't placed your order and you want to place an order, please consider rounding up, because it's just something that a little bit goes a long way, which is awesome. So the sandwich maker and the scoop and spread are also our products for Roundup. $1 will get donated with the purchase of either of those. So if that's something that's on your list, that's a good thing to add where you're donating for the Roundup. If you guys had fun this week and you want to do your own virtual, it is a great way to just be distracted. It's going to be a while, I think, that we're stuck in the house. And so I try to, you guys saw, I try to go live, I try to post videos, games, and just to keep it fun. Even if your friends are sharing with you, oh my gosh, I can't spend any money right now, they could probably use the distraction. And that's okay. My goal is to just give people ideas for recipes and things that they can do with the stuff they have in their pantry. And if they need to add a few things to their kitchen, that's awesome. But if they just want to hop on for the distraction, that's good too. So, keep that in mind. And the other thing is, if you have a product that you don't use, a lot of people don't know this. You can go on my website and just type like Rock Crock, and a whole bunch of recipes will come up for that product. Or type an ingredient, and a whole bunch of recipes will come up. So definitely do that. And then if you're not on, I know Mary Beth and Julia are, because you guys hosted, but if you're not on my community page and you liked what you saw in the party and you want more ideas and stuff, I invite you to join Lisa, What's Cooking with that, and I'll post the link on the parties. So I'm done for the live. I'm actually going to stop recording.